छुपी हुई है जिनको हम लोग सुन नहीं पाए आज तक समूह, तो उनको सुनना चाहेंगे आप।
डॉक्टर संतोष
सर
देखो, हम लोग रिटायर्ड टीचर हैं और हम लोग टीचर हैं, कम से कम 1-1 घंटा बोलेंगे तो चलेगा ना।
सर हम तो सो जाएंगे, फिर हम तो वैसे भी सो जाते थे जब लंबा
इसलिए हम
होता।
तुमको कह रहे हैं बिगिनिंग में भैया बता दो सबको 5-5 मिनट बोलना है कि 7 मिनट बोलना है, नहीं तो रुकेगा नहीं कोई, मैं बता रहा हूँ।
Absolutely right, sir. You are absolutely right.
सर अमृत जितना वर्ष से कम है।
सर देखिए,
अमृत सुनने वाले सब सो जाएंगे। कर्नाटे भरेंगे तो।
सराफ सर देखिए, हम लोग जानते हैं कि इसमें हम आपके लिए कोई टाइम बाउंड नहीं रखना चाह रहे हैं। हम आपको बिल्कुल सुनना चाहते हैं और बिल्कुल मन से, टाइम बाउंड नहीं है। हम ये भी जानते हैं कि आपको पता है कि स्टूडेंट कितनी देर सुनता है। तो
नहीं, थोड़ा टाइम बाउंड इसलिए होना पड़ेगा क्योंकि लास्ट में डॉक्टर तुली को भी तो सुनना है ना, इसलिए।
तो ठीक है सर, 15 मिनट्स ईच। अगर वो थोड़ा बहुत तो प्लस हो ही जाएगा, माइनस तो नहीं होगा।
नहीं हो सकता, माइनस भी हो सकता है, ऐसा कुछ नहीं।
ठीक है सर, 15 मिनट्स ईच इज। तो डॉक्टर कर्मराज 2 मिनट आप इस पे बताइए कि ये आपके दिमाग में आइडिया कहाँ से आया?
सर एक्चुअली हम लोग का ये चल रहा था कि 3rd फ्राइडे यूपीए वेबिनार होता है जिसमें सहभागिता वीओए की होनी थी। तो दिमाग में आया कि कई सारे टीचर्स रिटायर हुए हाल फिलहाल में हमारे IMS BHU से, तो उसी पे आपसे बात हमने उठाई और डिस्कशन हुआ तो हुआ कि अलग अलग शहर से लोग आ जाएं और अपनी अपनी बातें जो रिटायर्ड, क्योंकि एक परसेप्शन है जो कि आजकल है कि थोड़ा हमारे नए रेजिडेंट्स हैं, नया जो जनरेशन आ रहा है वो जैसे टीचर्स एक्सपेक्ट, जैसे पुराने जमाने में होता था ड्यू रिगार्ड, रिस्पेक्ट, वो सब थोड़ी सी कम होती जा रही है। तो वी वांटेड टू रिवाइव दैट फीलिंग इसी बहाने कि जो करंट जनरेशन जो ऑन द चेयर है वो इस चीज को ग्रहण करे, इस चीज को एक्सेप्ट करे कि पहले के टीचर्स कैसे होते थे। और बहुत सारे न्यू कमर्स है जो आज जुड़ेंगे, हम आशा करते हैं बहुत लोग जुड़ रहे हैं। लॉट ऑफ पीपल शुड बी लिंकिंग अप और इंस्पायर हो, इससे मोटिवेट हो। और हमारा जो एक ओल्डर जनरेशन और न्यूअर जनरेशन का जो एक कम्युनिकेशन जनरेशन गैप है वो ओवरकम हो। और इट इज इंडीड आवर गुड फॉर्चून एंड ब्लेसिंग कि हमारे सीनियर फैकल्टी है 2-2, 3-3 कोविड वेव सब लोग सरवाइव करते हुए आज भी हम लोग के बीच में विद्यमान है, व्हिच इज अ वेरी बिग थिंग।
कर लीजिए, आपके डिस्टर्बेंस आ रहा है।
मेरी आवाज आ रही है साहब सर? मेरी आवाज तो आ रही है ना सर?
बीच बीच में जा रही है वीडियो। अभी बहुत ब्लैक सा आ रहा है किसी का।
मेरा ही होगा सर।
वो तो ब्लैक इसलिए कुछ ऑफ किया हुआ होगा, इसलिए होगा।
गोयल साहब का स्क्रीन अच्छा दिख रहा सर।
हाँ जी, सब लोग दिख रहे हैं सर।
वेलकम डॉक्टर अर्पित जुरीवाला फ्रॉम स्कॉटलैंड। वेलकम डॉक्टर अर्पित। I think you are from IMS BHU.
कैसे गलती हो गई? ऐसे लगता है पढ़ाया
डॉक्टर आशीष ने ज्वाइन कर लिया तो हम लोग शुरू कर सकते हैं।
एक चीज पूछते तो उसका मतलब दूसरा भी याद होना चाहिए बेटा। मैं पूछा अदिति तुम्हारा नाम क्या है, तो तुमको भी याद होना चाहिए अदिति में तुम्हारा नाम क्या है।
डॉक्टर आशीष को मैं देखता हूँ जरा।
हाँ जरा से एक बार कॉल करता हूँ। तो इस तरह से कई यूनिक इनिशिएटिव्स यूपीओ ले रहा है। म्यूजिकल प्रोग्राम कितना शानदार हुआ, 15-20 लोग ने पार्टिसिपेट किया, बहुत अच्छा रहा। इट वाज वेरी एंजॉयबल। अभी टीचर्स प्रोग्राम हो रहे हैं। और सर क्या क्या लाइनअप में आप लोग सोच रहे हैं यूपीए टीम की ओर से सर? a few teasers आप थोड़ा बताएंगे सर? सब लोग म्यूटेड है।
डॉक्टर राजपाल साहब नमस्कार, डॉक्टर संतोष राजपाल साहब नमस्ते। नमस्कार
नमस्कार सर।
जी जी,
गुड इवनिंग सर।
गुड इवनिंग सर। गुड इवनिंग एवरीवन।
गुड इवनिंग डॉक्टर डैंग।
Yeah, you are very much impressed with the dance.
Yes sir.
अगर जब आप डॉक्टर डैंग से मिलेंगे आप डबल इम्प्रेस हो जाएंगे।
मिलना ही पड़ेगा अब तो सर।
गुड इवनिंग, थैंक यू। गुड इवनिंग अनुपम साहब नमस्कार, डॉक्टर गौतम चक्रवर्ती साहब
नमस्कार। नमस्कार डॉक्टर राजेंद्र नाथ
सर नमस्ते। सर नमस्ते।
नमस्ते नमस्ते।
गुड इवनिंग सर।
राजपाल सर गुड इवनिंग। आ रहे हैं संतोष, ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं आशीष बस
वो कर रहे हैं उन्होंने मैंने फोन किया
कर लिया भैया, कर लिया।
आ गए।
गुड इवनिंग सर। डॉक्टर आशीष सर गुड इवनिंग।
गुड इवनिंग सर। नमस्कार सर।
बेसब्री से आपका इंतजार है सर।
नमस्कार। गुड इवनिंग डॉक्टर आशीष सर। नमस्कार सर। हनुमान सर जी सर।
Good evening to all of you. Dr. Anupam here.
Oh, good evening.
Dr. Anupam, star of the day. I mean the day before.
Yeah.
You are the permanent star. We are just a time being star.
कल इन्होंने कोई काम नहीं किया।
संतोष ने कल मेरा
पकड़ लिया। संतोष ने पकड़ लिया।
तो सर हम लोग शुरू कर सकते हैं?
हाँ, I think sir please.
37
Everybody is there.
और एक
And
अच्छी
people are joining every second. I think we should start.
काव्या, तुमने सुबह से इधर किसी किया था, मैं ऐसे हो गया हूँ।
मैं अभी सबको म्यूट कर
संजय जरा अपना म्यूट कर लो।
सबको म्यूट कर रहा हूँ।
हाँ सॉरी सर।
डॉक्टर अनूप,
हाँ जी,
कैन यू मेक मी द होस्ट?
को होस्ट बनाना पड़ेगा।
आप कर लो अपनी तरफ से, हो जाएगा। यू आर दी होस्ट।
हेलो, गुड इवनिंग एवरीबॉडी।
ओके, लेट मी चेक।
ओके, I think we can start now.
Sir, please.
Yes.
तो हम इसको थोड़ा हिंदी इंग्लिश का मिक्स भाषा में लेके चलते, क्योंकि ये इमोशन से अटैच चीजें हैं।
सर थोड़ा ऑर्थो टीवी वाली टीम को जरा सा एक बार देख लें सर।
आई थिंक नीरज
लाइव वो लोग कहते हैं तो यूजुअली
नहीं चल रहा है। कस्टम लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग
चल रहा है, तो रिकॉर्डिंग चल रही है उसकी।
Okay then.
संतोष, you are host now.
Yeah.
And नीरज की लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग चल रही है, ऑलरेडी लाइव है। I think we need to connect with him once. मैं बात करता हूँ।
अभी सबको म्यूट करते हैं, जिसे बोलना होगा वो अनम्यूट कर लेगा। तो सर इस यूनिक वेबिनार में आप सभी का स्वागत है। डॉक्टर आशीष से जैसे हम लोगों ने शुरू में डिस्कस किया कि क्या पैटर्न होना चाहिए, डॉक्टर आशीष की एक एडवाइस थी कि हम लोग दो वेबिनार अलग अलग लोगों को अलॉट करते हैं और उनके आइडियाज को एक्सेप्ट करते हुए उसके थ्रू वेबिनार्स को अलग अलग रूप में करने की कोशिश करते हैं। तो अभी तक 2 महीने में हम लोगों ने जो दो किए, अलग अलग लोगों को अलॉटमेंट हुए, अब की डॉक्टर कर्मराज को ये वेबिनार अलॉट हुआ था और बहुत ही अच्छा उनका ये कंसेप्ट आया कि हम लोग अपने टीचरों को सुने, जिनको जनरली हम उनके बारे में कभी हम जानते थे या हमारे सीनियर जानते थे या हम नहीं जानते थे या हम किसी दूसरे कॉलेज से पढ़े, उनके बारे में नहीं पता लगा कुछ है, तो हम उनको सुने और उनके कुछ टिप्स, जो जैसे आजकल आईओई की थीम है सक्सेस विद सॉफ्ट स्किल एंड सर्जिकल स्किल, तो सर्जिकल स्किल तो सभी लोग अपने अपने आप सीख रहे हैं, कुछ ज्यादा ही सीख रहे हैं प्रेजेंट टाइम में, और हम लोगों को जो मेन चीज है वो जरूरत होती है सॉफ्ट स्किल्स की। तो उसी थीम के अंतर्गत जो ये लिया हुआ है कंसेप्ट बहुत ही अच्छा है, और हम वाराणसी ऑर्थोपेडिक एसोसिएशन और डॉक्टर कर्मराज के आभारी हैं कि उन्होंने इस टॉपिक को उठाया और बहुत ही अच्छी तरीके से इसको प्लान किया, और डॉक्टर आशीष का इसका जो समर्थन मिला है तो उसमें हम चाहेंगे कि हम इसको ज़्यादा समय ना व्यतीत करें, और डॉक्टर आशीष 2 शब्द कह के इसकी शुरुआत करेंगे, उसके बाद डॉक्टर कर्मराज आगे बढ़ाएंगे प्रोग्राम। डॉक्टर आशीष प्लीज।
हो जाएगा। सो डॉक्टर संतोष बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया, और ये सारा किया धरा आप लोगों का ही रहता है, हमारे सहयोग के ना होने का कोई प्रश्न ही नहीं उठता है, क्योंकि इतनी अच्छी चीज है और बड़ी अच्छी बात है। इधर कुछ ज्यादा ही अच्छी एक्टिविटीज अपने यूपीओ में हो रही, नहीं नहीं आपके मतलब संरक्षण में रहकर, और हम हमेशा किसी भी इतनी अच्छी चीज के लिए हमेशा पूरी तरह से हैं। और जहाँ तक गुरुजनों टीचर्स की बात है, उनसे तो हमेशा सीखने को होता है, और कोई भी दिन ऐसा नहीं जाता है जब ओटी में कुछ कर रहे हो मुझको अपने टीचर्स की याद ना आती हो, जिन्होंने कुछ कुछ सिखाया है। हर स्टेप उन्हीं लोगों का सिखाया हुआ होता है, एंड वी कीप ऑन स्पीकिंग टू आवर स्टूडेंट्स ऑल्सो। तो हो सकता है शायद वो कभी हमारा भी नाम ले लेंगे, तो बहुत अच्छी सी बात है। और मैं सब अपने सीनियर्स को, गुरुजनों को प्रणाम करता हूँ, और डॉक्टर संतोष साहब इसको आगे बढ़ाइए और हम लोग कुछ अच्छी बातें सुने और सीखें।
लकली प्रेसिडेंट सर भी एक प्रोफेसर और इतने सालों से हैं, इनके भी बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट अब तक हो चुके हैं फील्ड में, तो ये तो अच्छी बात है। तो डॉक्टर कर्मराज, कैन यू प्रोसीड प्लीज? Unmute yourself and go ahead.
A very good evening once again to all the faculties and people, the listeners and the audience. The first on the list, we are not going by seniority, we are just going by the list which is there. So we would like our President-elect Dr. Anup Agrawal sir to kindly introduce Dr. MKA Sherwani from Jawaharlal Nehru Medical College, Aligarh. The format for everyone's knowledge is a brief introduction by our students of the teachers, and after which the teachers will have their blessings and for everyone to listen to from 5 to 10 minutes on an average, or whatever time they would like to take. There's no restriction, but we have to respect a certain timeline. So Dr. Anup Agrawal, we kindly request you to let us know about Honorable Dr. MK Sherwani sir.
Thank you, Dr. Karmraj, and I must congratulate you, Dr. Santosh, and our President, Dr. Ashish, for doing this particular webinar, which is going to be a really inspiration for a lot of juniors. So I'm passed out from Jain Medical College, and I passed out in 1998, and I had the opportunity to work under Professor Sherwani sir also. So Dr. Sherwani sir did his MBBS in 1975 and MS Orthopaedics in 1979, both from Jain Medical College. After passing out, he joined the same college into the department where he worked for some time as a faculty, and then shifted to Saudi Arabia as a specialist. From Saudi Arabia, he went to UK for doing his MCH from Liverpool in 1988. When he came back to India, he again joined as faculty into the Department of Orthopaedics and rose to the position of head professor and chairman of the department, and where he served for long 30 years and retired in 2018. If I personally talk about Professor Sherwani sir, He's a person who was always energetic, like a young person, like a student, always ready to listen your problem, always ready to teach you. He's a very meticulous surgeon, and not only a meticulous surgeon, he's very meticulous in keeping the file, keeping the things in a proper way. And he always used to teach us how to write the OT notes, how to write the notes on the sheet, how to write the treatment. So he was very particular about what we today call about evidence, keeping the evidence and generating the evidence about patient treatment and everything. So he was the one in the department who was very, very particular about. Another very good thing about Professor Sherwani was that he always used to give a lot of time to the patient. And I admire Sir for this, and I take this from, and I in my practice also follow the same thing. He never used to rush for that OPD has finished or something like that. He used to divide the number of patients to all the SRs and everybody, so that everybody gets enough of the time, despite an heavy OPD of 200 plus patients as there in every government hospital. So that was a very good thing about Professor Sherwani sir. He's also an acclaimed speaker. He's a master trainer. He has delivered many orations and participated in symposia. He has many publications in national and international journal, also a reviewer and editorial board of member of Indian Journal of Orthopaedics. If you all remember, UP Orthopaedic Association last year accorded him with the Exemplary Service Award to recognize his services to the profession, to the student, and to the orthopedics and to UPOA. So now I'll request Professor Sherwani sir to please give his blessings.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Are you, Anup, thank you very much for a very nice introduction. And I'm grateful to Varanasi Orthopedic Club for this wonderful opportunity. It's a unique idea. I mean, I never thought that we will assemble like this on the webinar. And this is my first experience on webinar. I'm an old timer. And as I was sharing minutes before, that we started from slate and takhti to laptop. Of course, laptop I started using due to my students. I have learned a lot from my students. Of course, I have learned a lot from my teachers, but probably equal amount was learned from my students, including Anup Agrawal and so many students, wonderful students who are in India and outside. And my journey in orthopedics had been very eventful. Of course, as Anup said, in 1970, I joined the Jain Medical College as an MBBS student, very raw and very ordinary person. And then MS, and after MS, my father had retired when I was in MBBS third year. He was a government officer. And there were financial issues and all that. So I decided to join the army. And my selection was done in Short Service Commission. When I went to see my teacher and tell him that I'm going in the army, so Abbas Saab was my mentor, my teacher. He said, नहीं आर्मी में ज्वाइन कीजिए, आप MS कीजिए पहले. उस जमाने में DORS पहले कराते थे अब्बास साहब, फिर MS में एडमिशन देते थे. तो मैंने कहा सर, without any salary I cannot pull on because my father has retired. तो उन्होंने कहा नहीं आप MS कीजिए, we will see. तो खैर उसके बाद मैं ज्वाइन कर लिया. My father said, okay, do whatever your teacher is saying. So I decided not to join the army and join the department. And of course they were very helpful. उस जमाने में MS में ही रजिस्ट्रार भी बना देते थे. तो थोड़े दिन MS फर्स्ट ईयर के एंड की तरफ मुझे रजिस्ट्रार बना दिया एंड देन आई बिकेम लेक्चरर। आई रिमेम्बर उस वक्त 1300 रुपए मिलते थे तनख्वाह के और साइकिल पे हम लोग चला करते थे। So I decided to go to Saudi Arabia and leave the job. After about a year and a half, I went to Saudi Arabia to make some money, and from there, one of my very dear friend, Dilip Malhotra, came from UK and joined my hospital, and he was getting double salary, then in fact triple. And Dilip said, why don't you also do MCH and this and that? तो मेरे पास टाइपराइटर था, दिलीप बोलता जाता था, मैं टाइप करता जाता था, एंड आई रोट टू लिवरपूल। तो रॉबर्ट ओवन प्रोफेसर थे, तो उन्होंने कहा कि आ जाइए आप। 84 में, मैं 81 में सऊदी अरब गया था। तो मैंने कहा ये तो बड़ी मुश्किल हो जाएगी। तो दिलीप ने कोई बात नहीं, थोड़ा टाइम बाई करो, तुम 87 में जाना। तो थोड़ा टाइम उनको लिखा कि साहब अभी नहीं ज्वाइन कर सकते, आई हैव टू डू वर्क हियर एंड देयर आर इश्यूज एंड ऑल दैट। तो दे वेरी काइंडली एग्रीड कि ठीक है आप 87 में आ जाइएगा। तो हमने जाके वहां पे किया, वहां भी बहुत सीखा, अलीगढ़ में भी बहुत सीखा। एंड आई हैड दिस हैबिट ऑफ presenting papers in the conferences and all that right from when I was doing my MS, and my teachers used to encourage Professor Abbas Ali Khan, Professor Sultan Ali Sadiq, and Professor Ammar Hassan. They all used to encourage me, and अब पेपर तैयार करके देते थे, बोलने की आदत थी, जाके बोल देते थे हम। एक आध बार फर्स्ट प्राइज मिल गया तो जब मैं MS में था, UP Orthopaedic Association में, and it was a wonderful journey. And after staying 12 years, so Abbas Saab again gave me the job in the same department, and I came back. And since then, from 1991 onwards, I had been here, and I have retired. And orthopedics तो नहीं छूटती है भाई, कितना ही आप retire हो जाए. And my day starts at 9 o'clock now. But of course, let me tell you that the seminar in our department is the most wonderful thing. I have learned a lot from the seminar. And in fact, after retirement, I used to go to my seminar in the department at 8 o'clock in the morning. लेकिन कोविड के बाद वो बंद हो गया था सेमिनार, and that is how I stopped going. अब वो लोग कहते हैं ये आमिर और नैयर और अब्दुल कयूम का आइए सर, फिर से आइए। तो मैंने कहा सारा पैटर्न चेंज हो गया, पहले 5:45 बजे उठा करते थे, अब 6:45 को उठते हैं। तो I start at 9 o'clock and keep on seeing patients until 5, or today I finished at 6:45. I was hurrying up, rushing up. This habit of talking to the patient, because I have learned from my teachers in Aligarh as well as from my teachers in UK, particularly in UK, although the appointment used to be given for 15 minutes, but they used to talk for about 20 minutes and half an hour. Of course, the number of patients was not so much. The rush was less, but the habit inculcated in me, as Anup was mentioning, that I still talk to my patients. ऐसा नहीं है कि मैं सैकड़ों मरीज देख रहा हूँ, मैं hardly 20-25, किसी दिन 30 मरीज देखता हूँ, but it takes me till the evening, till sometimes up to 7 o'clock, or because every patient would like to talk to the doctor and you have to answer. And in the process, I have learned different techniques of surgery from my teachers, from my seniors, and from my juniors, even from my students. And it had been a wonderful, worth remembering journey, and I have enjoyed and will keep on enjoying for the next 30-35 years, because we have a former faculty association in Aligarh, all the retired professors. And only this Sunday, one retired professor of physiology was talking about the aging and how to carry on. And he said that 100 years is not a lot of age. Between 100 and 120 is the age, and up to 100 years, your mind will keep on working. And as you can see, nowadays, all the private sectors, they appoint the retired IS officers and retired engineers and all that. So the most productive age is between 60 and 80. You can see Amitabh Bachchan. He is still working at 79. So really, we have to carry on. This is the message I want to give to all my colleagues, Professor Saraf, Rajnath, and Goel Saab, and all these people. We have to carry on. Okay, thank you very much.
सर जाते आते थोड़ा सॉफ्ट स्किल्स पे बात हो जाए सर.
सॉफ्ट स्किल्स, सॉरी.
सॉफ्ट स्किल्स पे जो हम लोग का थीम है इस साल ईपीओए का, कि सॉफ्ट स्किल्स जो हम लोग सर्जरीज कर रहे हैं उसमें सॉफ्ट स्किल्स को हम लोग प्रिजर्व करें, उस पर थोड़ी सी कुछ आपके बातें, कुछ टिप्स सर.
Basically, sir, we want
Dr.
to know about the importance of communication. Importance of communication.
Well, yes, communication की ही तो बात हो रही थी अनु. Communication is the most wonderful thing in life. You communicate with your parents, you communicate with your wife, you communicate with your girlfriend, you communicate with your students, and at the end of the day, it is the professional communication with the patient, and really you have to talk and express and answer. And best part of the communication is that you should be a good listener also. So when the student is talking, you got to listen. And when the patient is talking, you got to listen. हाँ, एक चीज और मुझे याद आ रही है, मैंने कल अनूप से भी शेयर की थी फोन पे. The training in India, I want to share my experience. Training in India is only in one medical college usually. Of course, nowadays a lot of fellowships and all these things have come up, and of course, but that occurs much later on. These fellowships and exchange programs, even during post-graduation, I want to see that residents or junior doctors from Aligarh should be able to go and work for about a year or 6 months probably in BHU or Agra Medical College or Kanpur Medical College, and from there residents should come for a year to AMU Aligarh. So this kind of exchange is always there in UK, and my experience was wonderful there. In UK, you don't get a job for more than 6 months. After 6 months, you got to rotate so that you work with more number of people and you learn more skills from your consultants there. So something like that, I don't know when it will come up in India. क्योंकि यहाँ पे होता ये है कि जो भी रेजिडेंट्स है वो एक ही मेडिकल कॉलेज में ट्रेन होते हैं for 3 years, and usually after that they become senior residents almost in the same medical college, and then of course some of them become assistant professors and go on to become professors. I'm talking about the exposure which is necessary because you learn so many things apart from orthopedics.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. It has been indeed a blessing to be able to listen to you. और आपकी ये कुछ खास बातें हैं कि आज जोरदार तालियां आपको. Audible, inaudible, whatever it is, सभी का hand sign सबका आ जाए. Thank you, sir. It was a first for you and an impressive one. Thank you so much, sir. Now we move on to the next August faculty who retired a few recently, who Dr. Shivam Sinha is going to introduce. Professor SC Goel, sir. Dr. Shivam Sinha, kindly unmute yourself and you could start with the introduction.
Thank you, Dr. Karma, and
This blessing and musing is really an innovative effort, for which I would like to thank UPOA for bestowing me the opportunity to give a brief introduction about my mentor, my teacher. I have a short presentation. Can I share the screen?
Yeah, please.
Is the screen visible?
Yeah.
Yes, is it starting? Not yet.
Has it started?
Yeah, it started.
So, Professor SC Goel, sir, it is my honor to give a brief introduction to my teacher on this Azadi Ka Mahotsav theme. So, a teacher affects eternity, and he can never tell where his influence stops. Professor Goel is an eminent teacher, orator, researcher who blessed the entire orthopedic fraternity with services rendered in our alma mater, IMS BHU. With an outstanding career of 38 years as professor and head, he made every student who pass out remember him and teachers, as well as the institute, lifelong, with a permanent change in their attitude towards excellence, diligence, and continuous efforts to improve themselves. An introducer of arthroplasty arthroscopy in northeastern part of the nation, he always put efforts to bring new technology, knowledge, and challenges, thus develops interest in various subdivisions of orthopedics. Sir was born in January 1951, attained his medical degrees from KGMC, and MS Ortho in 1976. Overall, about 40 years of teaching experience to undergraduate, postgraduates, and supervising about 40 plus theses in both MS and PhD. Is professor and head at our institute, served as visiting professor in various prestigious institutes, and presently he is Professor Emeritus in Heritage Institute of Medical Sciences. Sir is an academic excellence wizard with an author of 5 books, chapters in 11 books, 100+ original research articles internationally, delivered prestigious orations. About 25 orations are there, including Kinney Memorial Oration and Dr. R.J. Cartrick Oration. He's invited faculty in various academic ventures with over 200+ guest lectures, and has been editor to our National, International, and Indian Journal of Orthopaedics, the National Journal, and the editor of JBJD. Sir has bagged 6 international fellowships, 5 national fellowships, and research awards. He's a fellow of NAMS and International College of Surgeons. He's also got Lifetime Achievement Award from UPOA and BN Meritorious Award of IUA. Sir has also chaired and positions. He was President IOA in 2008, Trauma Society of India, Central Zone, National Association of Interlocking Surgeons, and UPOA, Vice President in Orthopaedic Association of SAARC countries, Chairman Implant Committee of IOA, EC member of IOA, founder member and patron of VOC, which is now Varanasi Orthopaedic Association. And as soft skills, as a person, he enjoys traveling, enjoys courtship of fellows and friends. Each word spoken by him has a meaning, disciplined and diligent, and takes pride in social activities and message to the community. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Dr. Goel, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Shivam, for the nice words. Friends, it has been a journey of last 72 years and about 54 years in medical sciences and almost 49 years in orthopedics. And I've been fortunate to have my mentors who have put me at every level.
माउस ले लिया है उसके वायर में ये हो
Kindly mute everyone, sir.
Dr. Goel, sir, please unmute yourself. I have muted all.
Sorry.
Yes.
So till now I was audible.
Yes.
Or I have to start afresh.
No. You were audible, but some disturbance was there.
Right. So what I was saying, that I have been fortunate to have mentors like Professor MKA Goel and Professor TP Srivastav, who inculcated the clinical orthopedics, Professor Tuli, who inculcated the academics and the editing and research, and even Dr. KP Srivastav, who was my mentor in association, whether it was UPOA or IOA. Another thing which has been very important, as Professor Sherwani was mentioning just now, that one must go to other centers. And those days, as even now, there is no system of going to other colleges, but there were many fellowships. And somehow I was able to get almost all of them. And Johnson Fellowship has been a very important thing in IUA those days, and still now. And I am glad to inform you that all the 4 teachers here today have been Johnson Fellows. Dr. Sherwani, Dr. Saraf, Dr. Rajendra Nath, and me. And myself and Dr. Rajendra Nath were together in 1984. When we went around the country, saw the things being done, whether it was Bombay or Calcutta or Chennai. And that has, what has changed? That changed our outlook. Because if I may tell you, those days, UP, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh were Bimaru states in political science as well as in orthopedics also. Because here most of the patients were being treated by the old conventional methods, by conservative means only. And when we went to those places, we saw what is being done. And so in a way, we have seen a generation leap from conservative to operative. And now our younger generation, I am glad to say, is going much ahead. And nowadays, I see there is no difference between UP and any other city or state in the country. So that is what has happened, what has changed the total outlook. And that is what these fellowships have done, because I'm sure most of the people sitting here, even Unmesh or Anupam, and all of them have been gone to some fellowships. That is what has changed that. So that is a very important part in the treatment. And our many students who have come out of our place are doing very well. You have seen Arpit Jariwala here, who is in Dundee, Scotland, mentoring the MCH program. And then we have got Abhay Lens and Pankaj Kandawal, who are the head of the departments in various AIMS. And Dr. Santosh Singh in Varanasi, who has made an empire for orthopedics. So all this has happened because of the teaching and training. What we have inherited from our teachers. And we try to give the same back to our students. So Professor Goel or Professor TP Srivastav or Professor Tuli, they all have been doing like that. And that is the only thing why we have been able to do something. Learning has no shortcut. Learning always goes on. And even today, when I go to a conference, I still learn something from whatever people are presenting, whatever people are discussing, we learn. I saw a very fantastic case by Dr. Anup here about where he made an artificial elbow almost. So those things are happening. So that is what learning always goes on. And we have been having a good teaching program in our BHU setup. As Professor Sherwani was saying, we also had morning classes and afternoon classes every day almost. And that is what has helped students also to rise in their life.
Sir, over the last 10, 15 years, what change in the medical education system you feel needs to be addressed, and in the future, people who are coming in place need to take care of, sir?
The medical education system somehow is not going on a straight line. It takes many deviations in between. And suddenly some new things comes up. The many things have been discussed. I have also been part of a curriculum committee of IMS or MCI at that time. But when the final document came up, it was totally different than what we had discussed. So medical education has to be, it has to be patient-oriented, clinical-oriented. That is what is the new curriculum says. But then you have to have good patient. You have to have, it has to be teaching on the patient. That is what is going to help. But then the basic knowledge, the basic foundation has to be there. Unless that is there, so it has to be a mixture. You cannot say only clinical and you forget the theory part. That is what is the new curriculum is giving. I have a feeling that way. But yes, it is there. So we have to follow whatever is there. So because teaching is there, I have been still teaching. Now I've been in teaching profession now from 1979 till today, I know 43 years. And so we have a lot of changes going on.
Any very interesting narrative that you would like to share as you traveled as IO president to various parts of the world? Something interesting that you would like to share?
Interesting thing is when you go as a president that you are not going to the hospital or anywhere else. You are going into a function only, into a conference only. But that way, what I found was the Australia visit was more fruitful. There were a lot of discussion, while in England and in the American Academy, you are just introduced and that's all. But Australians were more
open,
and their hospitality was very good. So those days it was much less. Nowadays, the president goes to about 10, 12 countries, but I think it was 5: America, England, Australia, Thailand.
So it was any final concluding notes, sir? Point of so many years that you have spent at your alma mater, and what is the thing that you never want to go away from that institute?
No, alma mater was KGMU. I never
said. But now, what about the transition when you came from a different institute, we came to this institute?
The difference at that time was the KGMC was more practical oriented. Theoretical teaching was practical in it. While BHU, it was both clinical as well as. But as I find now, in last 10, 15 years, when I go to KGMU, I keep on going there, and it has gone much ahead.
Okay. Thank you, sir. It was wonderful listening to you. And with that deep insight, a round of applause for sir. And we always look forward to you as a doyen, as patron of Varanasi Orthopaedic Association. Thank you so much. And Dr. Shivam, a great introduction you did there. Now we come to Dr. Saraf. Are you there, sir?
Yes, I'm there.
Yes, you're visible. Okay. Now I would like Dr. Anupam Srivastav, who is a very popular past president of Varanasi Orthopaedic Association, to take the lead and introduce one of our very favorite teachers, Dr. SK Saraf. Dr. Anupam, kindly take stage.
Thank you, Dr. Kamraj, for giving me the opportunity to introduce my mentor, my teacher, and my guide. I have some presentation for my teachers I would like to share.
You can share the screen.
Is it visible?
It is starting. Yeah, visible.
So, well, it is, once it is likely to say, it is indeed a great opportunity for myself to introduce Professor SK Saraf, a teacher loved immensely by all of his students. I'm fortunate to introduce her and illustrious teachers in this special program, which has been arranged to honor the retired teachers, and I thank UPOA for this. Yes, Professor SK Saraf was born in Lucknow on 2nd September 1954. After initial schooling in Lucknow, he joined King George Medical College in 1971 for undergraduate course and passed all the examination with good marks. And the journey started. During the 70s, Department of Orthopedics, KGMC, no doubt it was an excellent department. However, Professor Saraf wanted to pursue his post-graduation from Department of Orthopedics, IMS BHU, as he had heard a lot about his charismatic teacher, Professor SM Tuli and Professor TP Srivastav. Dr. Tuli has mentor who has blazed the trail for his romantic journey of orthopedics. After his MS from BHU, he worked in many corporate hospitals in Delhi, abroad and in Lucknow. However, the teaching and training was always in his heart. Hence, in 1986, he joined the back of the Department of Orthopedics, BHU, as a lecturer. Subsequently, he was promoted as a professor and head of department. He continues his services in BHU till June 2020. After superannuation from BHU, he wanted to continue with the teaching and training of the young doctors, hence joined Department of Orthopedics Heritage Institute of Medical Science, Varanasi as a professor and head of department where he is still continuing. His subject of interest has been spine, bone tumor, and the basic science. Professor Saraf's keen interest in the basic research and the clinical work brought him many awards, and the recognition is a very difficult to read, but I will just go ahead. In 2003, I INOR Foreign Fellowship IU to attend the annual meeting of the British Orthopaedics Association at Birmingham, UK. In 2004, Spine Fellowship at the Nottingham, UK. In 2012, awarded as a IUS UK Fellowship 2012 to visit the Center of Excellence in Spine Surgery in UK. In 2017, the only Indian who research paper was accepted for podium presentation in annual meeting of WS 2070 as San Diego, USA, has been presenting research paper in various CICOT international conferences. Activity at the national level, it's a huge, if I will start this achievement at national level, it's a huge, but will not be able to enumerate just in a few slides. But main highlighters is that he was in 1995 Bombay Orthopedic Society Best Treatise Award, SN Bakshi Award for the best published paper in Indian Journal of Orthopedics. In 2000, Silver Jubilee Oration of Indian Orthopedics Association at the Jaipur. In continuation, he in 2009 KT Dholakia Gold Medal of IU at the Bhubaneswar, and the KT Dholakia Gold Medal again at IU at Hyderabad, and he has delivered the Golden Jubilee Oration of India Orthopedics Association at the Coimbatore. Activity state level is a very n numbers, but most important, he was the president of the UP Orthopedics Association in 2016 to 2017. Was very much as such, he has a member of so many committee and association and exam quiz masters and member as advisory board in orthopedics. But if I will read his contribution in academics, it's like a climbing on Everest. It's a huge and mind-blowing. He has publication edition of the book 1, chapter in books 11, research paper publication was 90, paper presentation was 48, and the guest lecture was 137. Yes, commendable. Thesis supervised and under supervision was 72. It's a marvelous. And if you see his achievement, there's a few photographs. There were two great teachers of the Dr. Saraf, Professor SM Tuli Sir, who has inspired him art of doing spine surgery, and late Dr. APG Kalam, who influenced him to work on biomaterial in orthopedics. If a country is to be corruption-free, this is from my side about my teacher, my mentor. If a country is to be corruption-free and become a nation of beautiful minds, I strongly feel there are three key social members who can make a difference. They are the father, mother, and the teacher. I'm grateful to be your student. Thank you for challenging me to be my best and instilling me a passion for learning. My tribute to my teacher, mentor, and guide. You deserve recognition for all the sacrifices that you make. You are more than a teacher to me. I thank you, sir. Thank you. Over to you, Dr. Kamraj.
Thank you, Dr. Anupam. That was a very heart-rending appraisal of your teacher. And now we would like to have Dr. Professor SK Saraf, sir, to kindly share with us his blessings on his life journey and experiences and what we must gather from him. Saraf, sir, kindly.
Thank you, UPOA. Thank you, VOA. And thank you, Anupam, for such an elaborate introduction. I don't think I needed that much elaborate introduction. Thank you so much. Today, I saw the benefit of organizing a program like this. After so many decades, I came to know that Dr. Sherwani is also of my batch. He also passed in 1979. All the years I was thinking, oh my God, he's so many years senior to me. I'm proud that I'm as senior as Dr. Sherwani. So now this, I entered in 71 in medical. Dr. Sherwani, sir.
अच्छा नहीं, मैं ये कहना चाह रहा हूँ, मेरा इम्तहान एक्चुअली 78 में होना चाहिए था दिसंबर में, लेकिन वो फरवरी 79 में हुआ. So certainly I'm senior to you by 1 year.
सर मान लिया मेरे से 1 साल सीनियर हो गए.
मैं 53 born हूँ, आप 54 born है. You are certainly younger than me.
देखिए सीनियर होता है और कोई सीनियर ये पसंद नहीं करता कि उसको इक्वल या जूनियर रखा जाए. आज एक एग्जांपल अपने सामने सबके सामने.
थैंक यू वेरी मच. बिल्कुल सीनियर.
डॉक्टर सराफ सर, यंग बने रहने में ही अच्छाई है, यंग ही रहिए सर.
बस डॉक्टर शेरवानी साहब का आशीर्वाद लेते रहेंगे.
बिल्कुल साहब.
Sir, but it is true that it is more than 50 years that we are in the medical practice since our entry. And I myself in last 51 years, I have learned a lesson in very hard way. And जैसा morning में अभी Dr. संतोष ने कहा, Dr. संतोष, he said that as a teacher, give some tips to our younger generation or the audience who is joining. So my advice or my tips, because Dr. Santosh used the word, give some tips. I'm giving some tips which I have compiled from my experiences of last 5 years. They may not be orthopedics, but they are other than orthopedic tips. My first tip is that health is very important. If you want to continue your surgery and we want to your services for a long time. I used to be so engrossed, involved with my patients in my younger days that I forgot myself. I neglected my health. So at this age, now what I'm having knee pain and neck pain. And that is why a prolonged spine surgery, I'm not able to do it. So that is my tip number 1 from my experience to all the orthopedic surgeons, whatever it is, don't forget your own health. Don't forget your family's health. That is very important. Remain healthy so you can serve the society. You can serve everyone for a pretty long time, number of years. So this is the one tip number 1, which I would like to give to everyone. The second tip, again, this all from my experience. Have some hobby. However busy you are, you must have some hobby. It will help you because the orthopedic surgeons, when he's operating in the daytime, and if it is a complicated case, he cannot sleep in the night because he's afraid of complication. You are all the time, you are stressed. So have either you learn a music, instrument music, art, science, anything like this. Painting, So you de-stress yourself from the day-to-day stresses which you are having. So have some hobby, and in a lighter mood, I will say it is your second best companion in the later part of your life. So don't ask me who is the best companion. I think we all know it, but the second best will be your hobby. It will help you.
Very nice.
I have another tip, and this I always tell my students all the time at all the forum. Please don't criticize your professional colleagues. You don't understand it, how important it is. If you criticize today, see, it is very important to find a fault in even in a perfectly done surgery. And when the check X-ray comes, patient comes to you, he has been operated by others. Even if you just raise the eyebrow, if you just make some faces like this, and suddenly a doubt goes in his mind, it's enough. That's not good. That's very bad. Because think like this, if the other surgeon does the same thing for you and it results in you going to the consumer forum in the court, how will you feel it about this? Feel the same way for your professional colleagues. Please don't do like this. This is not good. This is another lesson which I have learned. And if I'm telling you, it means you should understand that there is something. If I'm talking from my heart today in this meeting, it means that I've experienced many things in life. And I thought, and thank you, Dr. Santosh and all others, that you have organized a meeting like this where we can open our heart and I can discuss so freely with you.
Thank you. Very nice.
My fourth tip will be that remain updated in your knowledge about the recent advances in orthopedics. So that's not good. You are retired or that it is enough. I know a lot. As Dr. Goel also said, that he will always remain the student of orthopedics. And same thing, Dr. Tuli at this age says the same word, that I am the student of orthopedics. So let's all be a student of orthopedics. Find some time, half an hour, 1 hour in your 24 hours in your daily routine and study. Not that I'm a very busy practitioner having the billions of rupees of practice, so I will not study because patients are coming like that. That's not good. So that's my fourth tip, and my last tip is also very important because it's a limited time allotted to us. Set some target in your professional career as well as in your life. It's important. Then you try your best to achieve it. First, you set the target, then you do your best. There should not be half-hearted efforts. Set your target, be it getting selected for an award, or maybe you want to do excellent in the academics, or you want to contest a position of secretary or president of UPOA or IOA or whatever it is. If you are contesting, then no half-hearted. Try, do your best, put your everything over there so win it. And suppose you fail, there are two things. Either you will not regret it or you will think yourself, have I done the efforts? Have I left anything behind? Is that the reason that if you have not, then at least you will not regret. You know that you have done anything and you have done your best. That will give you a lot of satisfactions. So friends, I thought other than orthopedics, this is the one which I thought is very important. And I'm sure it will help our professional colleagues. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to heart talking to me.
Very nice, Dr. Saraf. We are enlightened with your words. और लग रहा था कि सुनते ही जाइए. आपने पहले ही कहा था कि अगर सुनेंगे तो बहुत लंबा सुनेंगे, बहुत अच्छी चीजें होंगी. और रियली जो भी आपने कहा, these are the very useful tips for everybody, even at the later stage of life or in the initial stage of life. Thank you, sir, for the nice words.
Thank you, Dr. Saraf, sir. That was very enlightening and very precise and crisp points. And Dr. Anupam, thank you for such a beautiful introduction once again. Now we move on to our next speaker, next faculty, Dr. Rajendra Nath for GSV Medical College. Dr. Unmesh Chakraverty, his student, will be introducing him, who is our very dynamic, academic, and very an excellent orator himself. So, Dr. Unmesh, over to you. Kindly let us have the pleasure of knowing about Dr. Rajendra Nath, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Kamraj. Am I audible?
Yes, you're absolutely audible.
Amazing program, amazing program. Kudos to you and to UPOA, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to introduce my teacher, my guide. So I would like to share my screen. Just a small presentation about sir.
You're visible.
Thank you. Is the slide visible?
Yes, yes.
Thank you. So, Professor Dr. Rajendra Nath. So, I was lucky to be doing my orthopedics from Kanpur in 2004, and even luckier to have him as my thesis guide. Amazing teacher, inspiring person, and he not only orthopedics, he taught us about being a good person, a good human being, how to be a good person with a doctor, with a patient, and smaller details about how to make a good presentation, inspiring you about how to collect your data and record them and to do your publications. So not taking much time, because I would like to hear him speak. Professor Rajendra Nath, sir, he was born on May 18, 1949. He did his BSc from Prayagraj in 1967. He did his both MBBS and post-graduation from KGMC. And interestingly, while we were doing our post-graduation, he was still so inspired to do his training. He did his DNB in 2005. So that's so very inspiring, that there is no age to learn. So in 2005, while his students, us, we were doing our post-graduation, he was doing his DNB. So he did his DNB in 2005. Coming to his official assignments, he started as a lecturer in LLR and Medical College, Meerut in 1977. Became an associate professor in Meerut in 1990. He became a professor in GSV Medical College in 2005. He was the head of the department of GSVM Medical College, Kanpur in 2007, and retired from GSV Medical College, Kanpur in 2009. He's held many important posts as a secretary of UPOA, editor JBJD, vice president UPOA, and interestingly, he inspired so many city orthopedic clubs. He was, instrumental in starting the orthopedic clubs from Kanpur, Nainital, Faizabad, Shahjahanpur. And he has been president of Kanpur Orthopedic Association not only once but thrice, 2000, 2018, and 2019. Very importantly, he has a lot of presentations. We, during our post-graduation years, have seen him present, and some of the important among them were way back in 1980, deep infections, surgical treatment, simple fractures. Way back in 86, he went to Yemen to talk about foot stabilization and deformity correction. In CCOT in 1994, he did his, he had lectures in Germany and Sydney way back in 1996 and 2000. A lot of national publications and publications in journals which are and IGO, and I feel so glad the last one, you can see cement total hepatoplasty, was part of it. So he not only used to inspire, was pivotal in being part of collecting the data and publishing, getting them published. He has organized multiple courses, and I know those of you who have attended these courses would see immaculate planning and excellent execution, top-notch scientific content, and so well executed. So long list. These are just amongst the few of the recent programs that he had organized. UPOA chapter IPF traveling fellowship 1979, and as Professor Goel sir said, he was with him in J&J fellow IOA 1984. It is UP chapter fellowship in 1995. And way back in 1996, he was in Hamburg doing his fellowship. He got the gold medal for the publication in JBJD in 1997, and exemplary award in UPOA in 2019. And this is something beyond academics. And all of us have just seen this. As Dr. Bolin once said, I would like to just read it out. Quote, there is something very deep and resonant and human about poetry that speaks to every person, regardless of their knowledge or experience and schooling. When Dr. Rajendra Nath recites any poem of Neeraj, Professor Ram Kumar Verma, and Jayashankar Prasad, it's a testimonial of the above. Hats off to you, sir. You are an inspiration for all of us. He has a lot of philanthropic work, right, from being the president of Rotary Club in Kanpur, and in Kanpur, day in and day out, doing a lot of not only orthopedics, but a lot of extracurricular work. Finally, I would like to just conclude by saying he has been an astute orthopedician, a versatile surgeon, an inspiring teacher. Teacher always teaches, but an inspiring teacher inspires, a humble person, and a very kind human being. Thank you, sir. Thank you for being my teacher. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Unmesh, a worthy student of a worthy teacher. I mean, you acquainted with us with such a great personality. And all of us are eager to now listen to Dr. Rajendra Nath, sir, in person. And Rajendra Nath, sir, are we audible, sir? Dr. Nath, you need to unmute yourself. Hello.
Dr. Rajendra, please unmute yourself. Otherwise, I will do that.
Sir, please kar diye.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
Good evening, sir. Most welcome, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Karamraj. I want to address this gathering. Honorable President UPOA, Dr. Ashish Kumar, President-elect Dr. Anup Agrawal, Honorary Secretary Dr. Santosh Singh, and UPOA executive authorities Dr. Karamraj Singh and all seniors and colleagues. I must thank you for considering me worthy of this appearing on this platform. In this talk, firstly, I will express my feelings about desirable qualities. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Firstly, I will express my feelings about desirable qualities of a teacher and a student. Secondly, how the teacher has been able to influence the society or the association. And thirdly, in spite of human weaknesses and shortcomings, how much help he has been able to provide to the general population around him. At this juncture, I should not ask what the society or association has given to me, but rather what I could give to the association. Long time back, Acharya Rajendra Nath Tagore, in his famous poem, brought out that our mind should be without fear. Our head should be held high. Knowledge should be free, truthful, perfect, and must be accessible to reason. In the words of Acharya Rajendra Nath Tagore, if I am permitted to recite, where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit. These words actually Dr. Acharya Rajendra Nath Tagore wrote for something else, but these words actually symbolize what the knowledge should be, how it should be imparted, and what should be the attitude of the receiver of the knowledge. He must take every fact by reason. He must criticize according to the need, depending upon the situation. So I consider myself lucky to have teachers like Professor B.N. Sinha, Professor M.K. Goel, Professor A.N. Srivastav, Professor J.N. Kakkar, Professor U.K. Jain, and my immediate seniors like Professor Harish Chandra, Professor O.P. Singh, Professor Ashok Agrawal, and late Dr. R.K. Gupta, and others, colleagues like Dr. Sanjay Rastogi, and many others. The student should also try to excel and work hard to uplift the esteem of the teacher. As Sachin worked hard to uplift the esteem of Ramakant ji, and Arjun worked hard to uplift the esteem of Dronacharya. I was also lucky to have good disciples who are more meritorious and more famous than me, like Dr. Mukesh Jain, Squadron Leader Dr. Piyush Agarwal, Brigadier Dr. Harish Talan, Dr. Lokesh Maratha, Dr. V.S. Chauhan, Dr. B.S. Pradhan, and later on I had from Kanpur Dr. V.S. Sharma, Dr. Pawan Pradhan, Dr. Professor Vinod Kumar, Dr. Nirmal Saxena, Dr. Ravi Garg, Dr. Pranesh, Dr. Chandan, and of course, Dr. Unmesh Chakraverty. He is not the last, but he is one of the best students that I had in my life. In association matters, I was lucky to have been guided by Professor SM Tuli and Emeritus Professor K.P. Srivastav. I had an opportunity to start 4 city clubs, as Dr. Unmesh Chakraverty pointed out, during my tenure as Honorary Secretary of UPOA from 96 to 99. As faculty in orthopedics at Meerut and Kanpur Medical College, again, I was lucky to this opportunity to serve the poor patients free of charge and relieve their suffering. At present, what I am is because of my students and patrons and my family, for it I will highly remain indebted. Thank you.
Wonderful, thank you. Those were beautiful lines and quotes, sir. It has been a mesmerizing experience so far, and thank you, Dr. Rajendra Nath, Professor Rajendra Nath, sir. Now, as we move on to the next part of our session, sir, Dr. Santosh, you would like to add something?
Actually, you can read the message of Dr. SM Tuli Sir first.
Dr. SM Tuli Sir has been keeping a little unwell and he was not comfortable sending a recording. So, sir, with your kind permission, I would like to read out his note which he has sent.
Yes.
Am I audible? Am I clear, sir?
Absolutely right.
Okay, sir. There's a handwritten note from Dr. Tuli, which he sent across at the last moment because I didn't want to miss the opportunity to address the August gathering and all his students and colleagues. I read out. I feel humbled and honored at this opportunity of interacting with my orthopedic fraternity through a webinar related to the UP Orthopaedic Association and Varanasi Orthopaedic Association conference in August 2022 at Varanasi. Orthopedic specialty has changed dramatically since 1960 when hip joint replacement was introduced. Hip joint arthrodesis and knee joint arthrodesis at present are recalled as historical facts. Joint replacement procedures have made the life of many persons more comfortable. However, at present, many biological options are also available to provide relief, especially for the younger population for painful conditions like osteonecrosis and juxta-articular deformities. Core decompression with bone grafting and juxta-articular corrective osteotomies can provide comfort to patients for many years at a low cost, postponing the necessity of replacement to a more mature age. Super specialties like spine surgery, plastic surgery, oncology are developing in metropolitan cities, changing the demographics of patients coming to general orthopedic services. Most of the orthopedic surgeons would be working away from the metropolitan cities with moderate infrastructure facilities to take care of more than 70% of the population of our country. Our fraternity should continue to develop expertise and practice the care of spine reconstructive procedure in most of the cases of bone tumors. Indications and performance of many operative procedures vary significantly from institution to institution and in various geographic areas. There may be 10 to 15-fold regional variations. Apply 18, Aerospine 2020. High cost may minimize widespread adoption. Let us find a balance for our patients. Life expectancy at birth in Indian subcontinent at present is about 68 years. Well-provided homes with healthy lifestyle would easily cross 80 years. Orthopedic fraternity has to evolve technologies to take care of the seniors with osteoporosis, osteoarthritis, and multiple comorbidities by long-term cost-effective methods to keep up their comfort and mobility during their sunset years. I pray for all goodness of this conference. Jai Hind, Dr. SM Tuli. He has mentioned his life membership IOA, which is number 1, sir.
Very good.
Sir, this was the message from Dr. Tuli, and we bow our heads for his blessings. And now, as we come to the end of our conclusion of our session, may we kindly ask Dr. Gautam Chakraverty, sir, is he there online, sir? Dr. Gautam Chakraverty, sir.
Unmute yourself, sir.
Dr. Gautam Chakraverty, sir.
Yes, I'm here with you.
Sir, yes, sir. With the permission of the UPO team, sir, we would like to conclude this session, and with the blessings of everyone and musings of everyone that have been part of today's program. Mr. Secretary, can we kindly invite Dr. Gautam Chakraverty to conduct the vote of thanks, sir?
Before that, I can say something.
Please, sir, I would like you to have a word, sir. Please, sir.
So it's our pleasure to be here with the so many stalwarts of the medical colleges, which we used to see in our residency period. And I was lucky as a undergraduate student of Dr. Rajendra Nath at that time. But unfortunately, in my MS, as I have passed my MS from the Jhansi Medical College, so I don't have the opportunity to work under them. So after that, when I started my career as an orthopedic surgeon, and when I came in the contact with these personalities, so I have analyzed them, and I have pointed out a single sentence for these 4 personalities. So if I want to say one line for each one, one line to say. So for the Dr. MKA Sherwani, sir, you are the super personality and awesome teacher. What I have seen in my last 25 years. So you are a super personality and awesome teacher. For Dr. SC Goel, sir, I have seen you as a pillar of the BHU, UPO, and IOA during my tenure of these surgeon, and you are a multifaceted personality and the fantastic teacher. Regarding the Dr. SK Saraf, sir, which I know about you, you are the father of basic sciences in UP, especially for our state. And you are a very humble and genuine personality and a teacher. I bow my head in front of you all. And for the Dr. Rajendra Nath, sir, you are a very poetic, smiling, and cool orthopedic surgeon and teacher. So I regards to you and to all of you, and keep peace, keep blessings on us and UPO and all the and members of the UPO. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Now, we would like to invite our very senior orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Chakraverty, for the concluding remarks. Dr. Gautam, sir.
Yes.
Sir.
Hello, I'm audible.
Yes, sir. You are very audible, sir.
Thank you. At the very onset, I'd like to thank Dr. Karmaraj for organizing such a wonderful show, and Dr. Santosh Singh for conducting in such a graceful manner. It was a wonderful show, and it shows the insight of all these senior speakers. I happen to be one of the oldest PGs of Professor SM Tuli. I passed out of my PG in 1974. Dr. Sherwani, Dr. Goel, Dr. Saraf, and Dr. Rajendra Nath, all of them, they're very close to me and they're very close friends. Before I go any further, Dr. Sherwani's approach is commendable. Dr. Goel's contribution towards the orthopedics in the theoretical way as well as in the practical way as a teacher is inexplicable. Dr. Saraf, like my younger brother, I've got no words to comment, but he's a wonderful man, wonderful surgeon, very meticulous surgeon, and whatever he does it in a very planned way. About Dr. Rajendra Nath, I have heard a lot about him. My son Unmesh also gives always words of praise, and he's a wonderful person. His recitation of the poem was really lovely. So with all these words, I should say that the President and the Secretary of UPA should go on conducting such programs, and all the teachers, they should be brought in the front, and they should give us a core of their basic knowledge and how we all can improve ourselves. With these words, I thank you, all of you. Thank you so much. Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. And Mr. President, UPA, Mr. Secretary, UPO's, and the President-elect, we thank you for this wonderful platform. And with this, we conclude.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Good night.
It was a
all the
wonderful
teachers.
interaction. All of us.
Thank you, all the seniors.
Thank you, Dr. Karmaraj.
Thank you,
Yeah.
President and
Wonderful
Secretary,
program.
and the President.
Thank you.